Stacey, it's been 5 months since you became president of the New York Stock Exchange, and I know that's a short amount of time, but what are your plans for the big board?
Well, I will say that our core mission is going to be the same. So our core mission is to help companies raise money so that they can go out and change the world, and to provide opportunities for investors. So over the past 200 years, we've changed how we do that a number of ways. It started with more traditional companies. We've seen technology companies come to market, global companies come to market, and we've seen a different style of investment products be explored, like exchange-traded products. So there are a number of different ways we'll deliver on that, but the mission's going to be the same.
There are so many big companies and companies that are legendary, like the New York Stock Exchange, 226 years old, that are talking now about reinventing themselves in this time that there's so much change going on. Are you thinking the same way? Are you trying to reinvent the big board?
If you're standing still, you're not going to be successful. You constantly need to be reinventing yourself. And part of that for us is how are our customers changing? What do they need? Where are they going? And how can we continue to deliver value for them? So we will continue to evolve as our customers evolve and as the market evolves.
The CEO of the Intercontinental Exchange, Jeffrey Sprecher, who bought the NYSE a few years ago, is known as a disruptor. Has any of that kind of thinking been rubbing off on you?
Absolutely. When a 12-year-old company announces plans to buy a company that's 220 years old, that's a disruptor, right? That's somebody who's looking to make a business more efficient and to find a new way of doing things. Frankly, that was a great thing for me personally, being part of an organization that now came in with a guy like Jeff being able to say, go reinvent this place. Nothing is sacred. You can change whatever you want. And knowing that I could do that for an organization I love so much, I couldn't have asked for a better job.
Even before you got this president's job, I understand that you were the chief architect in the technology upgrade that really modernized the NYSE. So are you going to be the one at the NYSE that makes it fully electronic?
No, it's important to understand that the way we integrate technology with the human element is really core to the value we provide to our listed companies. So our technology systems need to be state of the art, and they need to always be evolving and always improving. What we've done now, though, is we've integrated that technology with the human element so they can scale their business and what they're doing, and they can apply their expertise where it's most needed and not on busy work.
All right, so 10 years from now, NYSE, it'll still have a floor in that building.
Yeah, it's like when you get on an airplane, you still have a pilot at the controls. You know that you can automate all of those functions and you don't need that, but you have a much safer flight when you do.
Let's talk a little bit about the IPO market, because that is an indicator of the health of the markets. And the NYSE got some big ones this past year. Spotify comes to mind. What's the outlook for 2019? How's the pipeline?
We've already seen a much stronger IPO market than we had seen. 2018 year to date, we're already on track to outpace 2017. We've already raised $25 billion of capital in the IPO market so far this year, and the pipeline's really strong with a number of companies there.
You're very competitive, fiercely competitive with the NASDAQ for these IPOs and for new listing. What's your strategy to win the big ones?
It's important that we can tell the story of what the value is that we provide to a listed company. So when they look at all of the different aspects of what a listing on the New York Stock Exchange means, the brand that we can confer on them. The NYSE brand is so strong. When you look at the network of companies that are listed on the NYSE, 75% of the S&P 500, being part of that community of companies as they're looking to grow their own business and tell their own story and identify partnerships and clients is really part of why they choose to work with us.
When I talk, though, to entrepreneurs and to startup founders, they don't feel any urgency to take their companies public. What do you have to do to pitch them on the benefits? They have access to money in a lot of different ways, sovereign wealth funds, hedge funds. Why go public?
So they do have access to private capital. What they don't have access to is the liquidity that the public markets provide. So that Spotify, exactly, they didn't need the money, but they wanted that benefit of seeing, being able to provide their early investors and their employees with a way to trade in the currency of their shares. It's also a way for companies to more effectively engage in M&A. So there are a number of benefits.
But I'm sure you hear all the time the complaint that there's so many rules, so many regulations, it's cumbersome and it's expensive.
Yeah, that's my job, right? So it's my job to make sure that we're constantly down in Washington, D.C., making sure that it's not too cumbersome and burdensome, that the benefits and the obligations are in balance. And so we spend a lot of time and energy working on that and pushing a lot of those initiatives forward.